Wes, thank you, and welcome to Midtown Atlanta on this Saturday afternoon. We've had one ACC game for each team, but the conference play really starts in earnest today. 5th-ranked Duke to McCamish Pavilion, and Georgia Tech, what's expected to be a near-capacity crowd with a whole lot of blue. Georgia Tech took down Duke in this building last year by Dongo, a preseason All-ACC player, ready to take on Cooper Flagg, celebrating his 18th birthday today for these Duke Blue Devils. Kevin Brown, it's great to have the Hall of Famer Jim Boeheim back with us this year on ACC Network. So, pretty good way to spend your 18th birthday.
I think so. I think they're looking for a party, and I think Georgia Tech's trying to ruin the party. They did it last year here. A little different team this year, but Cooper Flagg, he just does a little bit of everything. He can dunk on you, he can block your shot, he can shoot it, he can pass it. He's probably the most multifaceted player that I've seen in this league in a long, long time. Maybe that's why they think he's going to be the first pick in the draft.
Did all that as a 17-year-old, all the numbers you saw today, and he gets Georgia Tech for the first time. And Georgia Tech team, as we mentioned, that beat Duke last year at home by Dongo, had the game-winning dunk at 21.
Yeah, he's gotten off to a little bit of a slow start, and they are missing 3 guys. They've had some injury problems. This would be a major type of win for them today. And Duke, this may be one of it may be his best team, and defensively, I think it is.
His 3rd year as Duke head coach. His team starts with the ball. Lee Cassell, Tommy Morrissey, Tony Henderson, our officials. Teams that split a couple of very close games a year ago. Georgia Tech on a court where it took down 3 Sweet 16 teams.
Nice defense.
Dongo with a steal to start the game. And this is just about how it looked in the final minute of the game last year. Nate George to Dongo. That was the game's sealing dunk. This is the first basket.
That's some play to start it out. I mean, Duke was patient, and they just made a little mistake, and Georgia Tech took advantage of it.
Duke team 9-2, 5 wins in a row. Con Knipple hoping to get him going from 3. Kaman Malowacz on the offensive glass, lost it. And a turnover to miss the first 2 possessions for Duke.
And they just don't understand why he's not shooting it better. He's a great shooter, 95% free throw shooter, and he just cannot get it going. And that's something that Duke needs.
Georgia Tech off the Dongo slam with Nate George, a sophomore, leading the ACC in assists. Lance Terry, their leading scorer. Mustaf's a terrific freshman, and Ryan Mutombo's played very well in 2 games since returning to the team. Had been away after the loss of his father, Dikembe Mutombo, a couple of months ago. On the drive, Mustaf got it on the rim. Tyrese Proctor with a rebound for Duke. Starting 5 for Duke, Sion James making his 5th straight start with Proctor, Knipple, Flagg, who is fouled, and Malowacz. Jim Cooper Flagg coming off 24 points. He scored 24 of Duke's 68 in the win over George Mason. And oh, by the way, 9 rebounds, 4 assists, 3 steals, and a block.
He's going to do everything, and this is what he does best: go to the basket and get fouled, draw fouls. Very physical, tough driver. And hasn't shot the ball well, and that's something that I think Duke as a whole, I think that's what they're looking for. They've got more shooters this year, more guys that can shoot, but they haven't really shot it great, and I think they're capable of it.
Flagg is 76% free throw shooter. That ends a streak of 13 straight made free throws.
The other thing you got to remember, the first road game in the league, things are different. It's just different when you go on the road, different intensity.
John Shire will have reminded his team of that. This is a place they lost about a year ago to the day early in conference play. What was the first league game last season for these teams. Georgia Tech offensively, what do you like for them?
They've had so many injuries, it's hard for them to get any consistency, and they haven't shot it really well either, but they've got 5 guys that score. They all score 10, 12 points, so they're balanced, and that's good in some ways, but it's also bad that you don't have that guy to go to. You like to have that guy.
You're on the flats for Damon Stoudemire, and people really like the energy he's brought to the program. Recruiting has ticked up in a major way. They were 14 and 18, but again had some huge wins his first year. Flagg drives it, turnaround shot rims out, and rebounded by Ryan Mutombo.
Georgia Tech's getting off to a great start. This is a good start for them.
George, sophomore, averaging 6 assists per game out of Toronto for pretty young Yellow Jackets core. Into Mutombo over Malowacz. Follows his own miss. Ryan Mutombo denied.
Get it out.
Typically, when there's a Mutombo down there, he's the one blocking the shot, but Malowacz with a little Dikembe.
Well, we lost his father this year, who was a great man, a great player. I know he blocked a lot of Syracuse shots. I was right there watching him. His son's gotten better. He struggled a little bit at Georgetown, but he is getting better.
Tech 1 for 5 to start. Deep shot clock for George. Got the switch on the big Malowacz. Flips it off the glass and good.
Prayer answered. That happens once in a while. It's coach, you just can't stand it when you play great defense and that happens. But that's basketball.
Over a 7'5" wingspan for the bucket. Here's James, very physical guard. Sion James, the first Duke field goal.
I think he's been a good, steady player for them. He's, I think he fits in. I think he does the things they need to have done. And I think you get a 4-year player. You know, Proctor's in his 3rd year. Malik Brown, we'll see, coming in, is in his 3rd year. Those veterans are going to help this Duke team.
George on a long possession against this Duke defense. Once again finds himself in the matchup with Malowacz. Got a step on him, lost control, and then his prayer is short, grabbed by Flag. He could be a one-man fast break, but Dongo got back quickly.
That's what he does. He takes it and goes.
Knipple, good look. And good for 3.
That's a big shot. They need to get him going. John Trower talked about it before the game today. And, you know, he shoots it in practice every day, so they know he can shoot.
Have been just 4 for 18 from 3 in the last 4. The potential lottery pick, Con Knipple. Dongo is in trouble. Throws it inside, but Mutombo bails him out. Back to Dongo. Shot fake. And Mutombo with a stop.
Very nice play. You know, you got the shot blocker there you're aware of him. He made a great pass, and that's what they have to do.
Ryan Mutombo's first bucket. Georgia Tech's 3 for 8. Duke 2 for 4 in the early going. A Duke team that's done everything pretty well offensively. Nothing elite. Flag misses a 3. That's a part of his game they hope will grow.
It's not there yet.
10 for 42. Terry's 3, not there as an answer, and James with a rebound. Cooper Flag 0 for 2 start with a made free throw, and Tyrese Proctor will score it plus a foul to take us to our first stoppage. Now Cooper Flag's got a point and a rebound here, celebrating his 18th birthday. It's been a remarkable start for this young man. More on Cooper Flag and what he's brought to the game when we come back. This summer, playing with a USA Select team next to LeBron James, Jason Tatum, among others, at age 17. He's the first college player to do so since 2013, and this December 21st, 2024, his 18th birthday, which a lot of the Duke fans know. It's an important day for Cooper. Not only is he playing, he's now eligible to vote or file a lawsuit, maybe get a Costco card or even skydive.
Well, he probably has a car. He doesn't have to worry about that. He probably has a bank account, and he doesn't need a mortgage because he can buy a house. So I think he's good. The one thing quick about the Olympic thing, when those NBA players come in there those first couple days, and I'm not to take anything away from what Cooper Flag did, they're not ready to go. They're kind of feeling their way through it. But Cooper was really good there. He did some great things there, getting to the basket, and dunking. You dunk on NBA guys like that, but it's a little misleading sometimes because it's like when the Dream Team played, the college kids beat them supposedly in the first scrimmage, and then the next day they woke up and it was different.
Well, you've been around USA basketball a lot. How many 17-year-olds even get invited?
No, they don't. They don't. Sometimes there's some young. Kevin Durant was young when he came, but it's unusual. It's a tough camp. They bring in really good NBA players usually, and then the great players.
3-point play for Proctor. Out of the timeout, it's 9-6 Duke in the lead. Malik Brown Isaiah Evans on the floor for Duke. That shot left short by George and saved by Brown into flag.
They make it hard for you to get a good shot. You know, everybody thinks they shoot bad against them, but they shoot bad for a reason. The defense is that good.
Flag, patient as he typically is in the paint. He'll get to the line for 2 more. And the foul is second against Ryan Mutombo, Georgia Tech starting center.
You know, he gets in there against big guys in college. Imagine what it was like in high school when he got in there against 6'4" guys. He just was dunking and throwing things down. He's just tough to guard down there. He's just mobile. He knows how to play. And he's just, if you get to him, he can pass it.
What's the next step in his game?
Well, as it's shown right here, his shot is good. It looks good. It's just not quite there yet. And that's the only thing he has to do. It's when you're in college, when you're 18 years old, and the only thing you have to do to be a great NBA player is shoot the ball better. That's not bad. He doesn't have to get stronger. He doesn't have to get better with the ball. He doesn't have to get smarter. He's all that. He just got to, and he's got a good release. He'll get better.
4-point lead for Duke, projected #1 pick. Javian McCollum, 2 on the floor for Georgia Tech right now. Terry loses control to Proctor. Here is Flag on the run. And the stop.
Yeah, he's different. You got to enjoy him while he's here. He's only going to be here 1 year. Oh, he had that one. That was going down too.
Foul on Isaiah Evans terminated what would have been a pick 6 and what would have looked like one of these.
There's just nothing you can do with him in the open court. I mean, when they get turnovers and going that way, you just cannot play with Duke.
Duke only behind Tennessee in terms of adjusted defensive efficiency in the country. They're top 8 field goal defense, scoring defense. And John Shire said it to us, the offense is behind, but I don't mind that this time of the year.
No, I mean, their defense is going to keep them in every game, even if they're off a little bit. Their defense is going to be good.
Nice drive by the freshman, Jaden Mustaf.
Really nice drive. That's going against Malik Brown, who's a really good defender. I know I had him. I recruited him at Syracuse. He's a really good defender. And that was a big-time move for a freshman.
Freshman out of the Overtime Elite program, which is just a couple of minutes from here. Knipple hits his second 3.
And a good screen. You don't see it, but Malik Brown got him open with a great screen. That's what Malik Brown does. Defense, rebounding, and screening.
If there were stats kept for deflections and screens leading to open 3s, Malik Brown would be in the top 5.
Well, you know, he was 3 in the league last year in steals as a center.
And he just got another one.
Another one.
They do keep stats on deflections at Duke. They tell us he has 69 in 10 games. What a tough finish that is. Tyrese Proctor around the rim, and the lead for Duke is 9. Blue Devils have hit their last 4 from the field. That 3 will go.
Big shot.
Out of the corner, Duncan Powell.
You can't let these guys get away. If they get away early, it's almost impossible to come back. You have to keep in touch.
First made 3 for Georgia Tech, a team that shoots it about 32.5%. Knipple will drive it this time into Malik Brown, creating space and finishing with the left.
He finishes left better than right. He uses his left hand better than his right hand. That's what's unique about him.
Duke now 7 for 10 from the field, make it 5 straight makes for the Blue Devils. Powell just hit from 3, takes it into the teeth of Brown, and Flag rips it away from Dongo. Knipple had Evans for a moment. Now Evans will shoot it, and Evans will hit it.
When Duke shoots the ball well from the perimeter, I don't think there's anybody in this league that can beat them. They do everything on defense, and then they shoot.
Well, it was a year ago, the conference opener here in McCamish, December 2nd, 2023. Georgia Tech got out to a hot start. First 4 baskets were threes, led 12-2, led most of the way, trailed late, but Baidongo with a go-ahead dunk in the final minute, and the Yellow Jackets stunned Duke 72-68. I know it's a different team for Duke, but it seems like John Shire's team has gotten the message that you better be on your game from the start, because 6 straight makes for Duke. No early game blues this year.
Well, you know, I've seen Duke on TV, and when you see them in person, they're just a little different this year. They're just better. Coach Schreier thought they were better talking to him before the game. I think they're better. But just when you see them, they're so good defensively, and when they shoot the ball, I don't think there's a team in the league that can play with them. I mean, it'll happen over the course of the long season, but it's a really good team. When you can rely on your defense, when your offense is off a little bit, that's how you win.
Only scored 68 Tuesday, but they only gave up 47 in the win for George Mason. They've gone through some prolonged scoring droughts this year, not today. 6 for their last 6. Lead is 11. Damon Stoudemire took a timeout to send us to the last break. Georgia Tech has not had easy shots. Here's a drive, and a miss from Lance Terry, their leading scorer, who still has not found a basket.
Every shot is hard.
Caleb Foster, boy, they'd love to get him going for Duke. James for 3. It's good! 7 in a row from the field for Duke. Sion James with a 3.
Just a different team this year.
Powell's hit one from the corner, gets around Flag, nice finish.
When the big guy's out, they don't have that presence in there, the shot blocker.
Foster's missed 3, snaps a streak of 7 straight makes for Duke.
Malik Brown's a really good defender and gets his hands on a lot of balls, but is not the shot blocker when the big guy's not in the game. And I say the big guy because I can't say his name.
Oh, you got it. Come on, Malowitz.
Yeah, Malowitz. I got that. So I should know that.
The really big guy, 7'2".
Yeah.
Powell pull up. Now he got fouled by Flag in front of the Duke bench. 3 free throws as Cooper Flag gets an explanation from Tony Henderson.
You just can't be near the three-point shooter, whether he's moving in or not. I mean, you've got to give him room to land. The problem was, of course, it took place right in front of Coach Schreier, so he had a good look at it. But
as did we, as you can tell.
Yeah, I think it's he moved in a little, just enough.
Second straight game Flag has fouled a three-point shooter. Tonight right here on ACC Network and the ESPN app. This is an ACC game now, our primetime West Coast matchup, at least half an ACC game with Cal against number 23 San Diego State. Andrei Stojakovic, 20 or more in 6 of his last 8 for, I know you have to get used to this ACC team.
Yeah, it's hard. It is hard. Presidents have no idea what geography. I think they all failed geography in high school, but yeah, it's different.
But just think how many books you could have read on the flight to Berkeley.
That's true. That's the only time I read is on the flights, and I read at least one full on just the way out. Yep, little zone here, little try something different. Duke's pretty good against zones because of their shooting, and they rebound the ball so well, so it'll be interesting.
Foster, foul line extended for Mason Gillis, getting his first time.
Good defense. That's sad for a coach. They did a great job, and a guy that you really probably want to shoot a jump shot shoots it, but he makes it.
Most of Malowicz's shots are dunks or layups. Extended range there for a 12-point lead. Powell trying to keep Georgia Tech in the game. He's got 7 as that 3 swirls out. Strong driver, Sion James. Hesitation and an offhand finish for James.
And one, probably. Coach Schreier thinks, and I think he's right on that. There's a lot of contact.
Sion James is 3 for 3 for an early 7. Game high lead of 14 for 5th-ranked Duke. Ustav worms it around to George. In and out for three. Hesitation by Gillis, was not shot at well this year.
A little pressure when you come in as a shooter and you don't get to play a lot of minutes. It puts a little extra pressure on you.
Foster. Gillis is open. Gillis has a look. Gillis too strong.
Foul.
And then Malowacz slams into Powell for a foul.
Yeah, it's tough. You know, Gillis played at Purdue, used to shooting a lot of threes. Gets in, doesn't get many. That's not easy to be in that position.
And John Shire said he's been what they want from a leadership perspective in the locker room, but 47% at Purdue a year ago. Right now he's just 8 for 31.
It's just the numbers. When you don't get the numbers, you know, if you shoot, Steph Curry went 0 for 7 the other night. The next 7 he takes, you'll probably make. I mean, it's just the way it is. And when you're a shooter, you're going to miss some.
You said it earlier. We were talking to John Shire. Your son, Buddy Bama, with a 17% non-conference here, and then on 41 in the league. You're that good of a shooter. You want Mason Gillis to keep putting them up.
Yeah, you want him to shoot. I think Duke's a little zone, which I have not seen from them in a long time.
I think both teams are just playing zone because you're here.
They must have. I think they feel I need it or something. I need to look. Yeah. Uh-oh, here it is. Yeah, I thought he was going to make that. He's on it. Hit his first couple.
Malowacz on the deck. Ties it up. It'll go to Tech, but the Duke bench to our right screaming as loud as it's been all game.
Yeah,
it's easy to tell energy when you're next to one of the benches, but this has been a juiced up Duke bench the first 12 minutes or so.
Well, when you're making shots there, everybody's a lot happier. That's just the way it works.
Did you like noon games?
You know, I really didn't, because I'm not a morning person. I stay up late. But when you do play them, you're done at 3. You kind of feel good. You don't have to worry about it. When it's 8 o'clock, you worry about it all day.
George on a slip for Dongo. Malowacz is there to deter him. Dongo just couldn't get around him.
Too big.
Knipple. Foster was out of bounds, so Duke will turn it over for the 4th time.
That's the worst thing a coach I think you can see. When the court's been painted for 100 years. They don't change the lines. They're there, and you're out of bounds.
Duke shooting at 65%, but they don't step on the end line. Great start for the Devils. This Saturday, Sion James, who's in his first year at Duke, making his great impact on the community, hosting a one-for-all toy drive. You can shoot a free throw for a chance to win auction items, basketball signed by the team, custom shoes, jerseys signed by former Duke players like Jason Tatum. The goal for Sion was to raise 1,400 toys. This is a young man who was the first player to win the Sportsmanship Award twice in the American Conference, over 350 hours of community service. Ooh. And on the court is just a winner, really is to do.
You love to see that, you know, to get your players involved in the community. It's something that can last them a lifetime, and it's a great tribute to him. And you know, as a player, he just brings so much stability. And he's not, you know, he's a team first guy. He can score, but he's solid in every aspect of the game.
What do you like about them moving him into the starting lineup for Foster?
I just think it's been good. I just think he's a really proven player, a really good player. And, you know, I think Foster will contribute off the bench. But, I mean, this kid's earned the job. I think it's his.
He's got 7 today, 3 for 3, 2 rebounds and assists, no turnovers. There's Caleb Foster. Duke is 11 for 17 from the field, 4 for 9 from 3, leading by 14 in a building they lost a year ago. Powell already above his season average for Georgia Tech.
Yeah, he's been a bright spot.
Dongo has taken just 1 shot in the game. His second will be short.
You know, last year he was a physical presence inside, and this year it looks like he's trying to play on the perimeter.
Proctor got free from the Malowacz screen, missed badly.
He must have had a premonition, which wasn't very good. Duke doesn't take many shots like that. Just kind of a quick look. Coach, you going, no, and then if it goes in, you go, oh yeah, good shot, nice play.
What I wanted all along.
Yeah.
First foul on Con Knipple. It's Duke's 4th. Cooper Flag back on the floor. 4 points on his 18th birthday. Couple of rebounds and assists. Dongo 3.
Nice, that's good. I'd like to see him get going. I mean, he had a great freshman year. You'd like to see him get going this year.
Just his 5th attempt, 3rd make from 3 on the year.
Back to the zone.
Working into Flag. Flag trips, got rid of it to Proctor, the late discharge. Looking for Flag, knocked away by George, and then George is called for a foul.
I don't know about that. They're both going for it, but you know, the zone has been a little distraction for Duke. They haven't really got it to where they need to. Yeah, that's a good call. Once in a while they get them right. I know.
I just get that on a loop. You saying that's a good call.
Yeah, I hate to admit that they do. I tell them, oh, it's a hard game to officiate. It's very hard, but they get most of them right. Don't tell them I said.
You know it's recorded now.
I know.
They can go back and hear it.
It's out there.
But just between you, me, and the millions of people watching.
Yeah,
Knipple with a 3, his 3rd.
That's what Coach Schreier said before the game. They thought, this is the guy we got going, and maybe today he'll go going and get going. He is, and it's the difference in the game.
9 points for Con Knipple, 6'7" freshman from Milwaukee. Flips it into Dongo. Quick double team. Freshman Mustaf will drive. Dongo again. Starting to try and exert his will on the game.
Against that zone again, and you know, he made a really big time move over the big guy. That's very good for Georgia Tech to see that from him.
Up to 7, 21 against Duke in the win here last year. James on a hard drive went right into Ryan Mutombo, standing up with 2 fouls. Terry, and he flips it in.
Really tough play, great play, very hard play. Little life here, come on.
That's Terry's first basket. Flag initiating. Malowaj. Boy, that's an overpowering mismatch on the 6'3" George, and they're lucky it wasn't a 3-point opportunity.
Well, that's what you do against the zone. Try to get in the high post. Flag's a good passer. He gets it down low, and they score. Really good fast break finish. That's a tough finish by Terry.
That's Terry, 15 and a half a game. He missed all of last year, or most of last year, with a calf injury for Georgia Tech. Malowaj at the line, rattles it in. Should say it was all last year. He was cleared to practice in December at Lance Terry, but he decided to take the year and redshirt, and he said it was good for him to see the game from coach's perspective.
Yeah, I think sometimes that works. He's off to a really good start this year, and it's good to have the veteran guys. Big guy comes out, that opens it up a little bit for Georgia Tech to get to the basket if they can get past the initial defense.
Free throw's good for Malowaj, who over 80% from the line. Malik Brown's back in, Duke leading by 12. Dongo again.
Oh, good take.
You like him being a little more aggressive. Right?
Yeah, this is much better. He hit that shot and kind of got him going a little bit, and that was a good move.
Brown for Flag. Got a screen from Isaiah Evans and hit a 3.
That's what they're looking for. When that happens, he's hot. You can't guard him. You have to play off him a little bit.
Mustaf. Powell soars in to grab the air ball. And patiently Powell, no, on the second chance, stays with Tech.
It's a little different when the big guy's out of there. They have to fight a little bit harder for the rebound. They're pretty small. Duke's pretty small when they go with this lineup.
George at the inbound. Powell, 6-point per game scorer on the year. He's got 7 and a chance for more, muscling his way into Flag. And that'll be the second foul against Cooper Flag. John Shire's going to call him over, not take him out.
I never took a guy out when he got 2. I learned early in my career, great player Derek Coleman, when he got 2, if I took him out, then the next game he wouldn't guard anybody after he got 1. So he didn't want to come out. So I would leave. Smart players you can leave in. They're careful. They know what they're doing. Some guys you have to maybe take out. But some coaches take a guy out with 2 and that's it for the half. I've never felt that was a good way to coach, but a lot of coaches think that's a good way.
John Shire, listening to your way, he's leaving Flag out there with 2 fouls. 13-point luxury. Proctor jabbing his way in. Tyrese Proctor. The option is Flag. Hit a 3 on the last possession. Drives it into traffic here and turns it over. Cooper Flag's got 7. Been a pretty happy birthday for Cooper and his Duke team so far, leading by 13 in the ACC road opener. For the lead for Duke. Happy holidays from us here in Atlanta. Kevin Brown, Jim Boeheim, our ACC Network crew. Duke has gotten off to a great start this year. When they hit shots, where are they nationally?
I think they're in the top 4. I mean, they beat Auburn, but Auburn's really good. Tennessee's really good. I mean, it's too early to start naming names right now. Because somebody that's right there is going to get beat next week, and you'll think what happened, because that's college basketball. The difference in the game today is everybody has players. With the transfer portal helps everybody, and it helps teams that are down. All of a sudden they get 2 or 3 key guys. It happens. You really see it in football. Syracuse couldn't win any games last year. We got a quarterback that Ohio State gifted us. Thank you. And we won 9 games, and it just turned everything around. And so you see it in basketball too, but everybody's got some players.
Who's got the transfer? James, who's scored 7. A couple of freshmen who played really well today with him. Knipple and Flag, 6 for 12 from 3. And they've also been their typically staunch defensive team, holding Georgia Tech to 36%. Mustaf into the shot clock.
I think they let him shoot, and he made it. I used to say all the time, you think a guy can't shoot, but when you let him shoot, they make him. So don't let him shoot.
Just his 5th 3 of the year, the freshman. Flag's on the bench right now with the 2 fouls. Gillis and Evans on the floor together. Here's Mason Gillis. Shot fake off the 3. Elbow jumper is good.
That's good for him to get that going. That was a really good move, and get in and get a shot you can make a little bit easier than a 3.
His first basket. Powell will answer.
They're different when the big guy is not in there, and when Cooper Flag's not in there. They're just not. Look at their team. They're 6'4", 6'4", 6'5", 6'4". And Malik Brown is a really good defender, but he's probably only about 6'7".
Right on cue, Flag and Malawach and James all go to the scores table.
Yeah. Coach Fryer didn't like that layup.
This is when Duke gets super big. But they're not small because all their guards are 6'5" or up. But when you go Flag at 6'9" and Malawach, and by the way, Knipple's 6'7". You play him at the 2 or the 3, they become super big.
Yeah. They look different when those 2 guys aren't in there, though.
Here's your average height and scholarship players, all 6'5" or up for Duke. Malawach will screen for Proctor, and Proctor goes all the way. He'll go to the line.
And you really can't trust some of those sizes on guards. Sometimes they're 6'4" and listed 6'6" too. You got to be. Proctor definitely with his hair is 6'7".
Right.
Sure. But when those 2 Flag is in there with the big guy, it's just a different team.
Well, college football playoff first round continues today. 2 ACC games, SMU Penn State going on right now TNT and Max, Clemson, Texas to follow. After the games, the Huddle crew breaks them down. Coach player interviews on ACC Network and the ESPN app. Right now, SMU trailing 7-0 with the ball near the end of the first at Penn State.
You know, all of a sudden you look up, it's a 10-point game, you make a good possession here, and now you think you're in the game again. So that can happen quickly in college basketball.
Powell has already tied a season high with 11.
He looks comfortable out there.
3 to shoot it. Dongo just throws it up. A prayer is answered with 1.5 on the shot clock.
This is 3 or 4 times that Duke has played really good defense and the guy's in a really tough position. Not much contact there, pretty straight up. Sometimes the offensive player gets off balance and isn't really fouled, but that's kind of what that looked like. But again, you got to give them, Dongo credit. He's coming back and hit the 3, got to the basket, and he's missed a couple close in there. So you have to give Georgia Tech a tremendous amount of credit. They were, 13, 14 points down in trouble, and now they've got a chance to get back in the game. Big free throw here. Round it in.
Makes it a 9-2 run.
Yeah, I mean, basketball's a game of runs. This happens, but it's important to get the big guy out of the game. He's a factor all the time.
There's Malowac's second foul as well, so he is on the bench. Flag playing with 2, posting Powell. Powell knocks it away. McCollum for Georgia Tech the other way.
Oh,
wraps it inside,
nice.
And Dongo finishes.
I'm out. And this has been Dongo. I mean, this is his comeback, really. He's been right there, and Powell's been tremendous. They haven't worried at all. This has been a really good move back in this game.
A 15-point Duke lead less than 3 minutes ago, cut to 5 by Georgia Tech.
Yeah, I mean, this is what happens in college basketball. You get a run, and all of a sudden these things happen. That was a great, that was a really, he lost the ball and got it back. And again, I give Georgia Tech a lot of credit, especially Dongo I mean, they've been really good.
12-2 run. Damon Stoudemire's Yellow Jackets have hit 4 consecutive shots. And off of John Shire's timeout, Duke ball with a minute to go. Brown, Dongo tried to intercept that pass. A cutting flag will flip it home.
Little contact there too, I don't know. I don't think Coach Schreier was happy with that non-call there.
9 for Cooper flag. Gustav stripped by Brown, deflection king.
Malik Brown has always got his hands on the ball, always.
Terry rattles it home.
I like the fight from this Georgia Tech team. This has been good. Duke's playing well, and they've kept fighting.
Duke can hold for the final shot. A half where the Blue Devils have shot 65%, 50% from 3. Knipple, turnaround, too strong. And Georgia Tech goes into the locker room on a 14-4 run, having made its last 5 shots. Looked like a runaway for a little while. Cooper Flag's been good, but Georgia Tech and by Dongo right back in it.
Give them a lot of credit. They were in real trouble. When you're down 15 to Duke, they can have a tendency to keep going. You know, John wanted to play some guys, and that kind of throws you off a little bit. But
41-36, the halftime lead for Duke. Sending you now to Justin Walters in the ACC Network studio. Well, Saturday before Christmas. Happy holidays from all of us in this animatronic snowman over a place where it famously almost never snows, but when it does, it shuts down the city, Atlanta, Georgia. Kevin Brown, Jim Boeheim back with you. Duke leads by 5. Duke led by 15 with 4.5 to go, but a spirited run by the Yellow Jackets.
Are you saying it snows in Syracuse? Come on.
What? Never.
Almost never. Anyway, I'm very impressed with Powell. What Powell did early to kind of get them back in it was impressive. Here he goes by Cooper Flag and finishes at the rim. His defense was pretty good. He hits a three here. I thought, and then Dongo got going, but it really was Powell kind of getting them back here. That might have been a little foul, but you're on the road. You know that's going to happen. Great play inside. Dongo was really good. It started out really with Powell, and then Dongo took over, and the two of them got Georgia Tech back in the game, and their defense was pretty good, and Duke started shooting really well, and then they missed a couple. So it really depends on Duke and their shooting, but I'll give Georgia Tech a tremendous amount of credit. They were almost on the verge of being out of this game, watching as a coach, and those two guys brought him back in it. I thought Damon took a good timeout, got them thinking about what they needed to do, and we got a good ball game now.
Georgia Tech is without a couple of injured players too. Joyce Reeves has missed a few with a right foot injury. They don't have Luke O'Brien, who's out with a toe injury today.
Sometimes it's a good thing when your bench gets shortened because you get those extra two guys in there. They make, like Duke did that. They got those couple guys in there, and Georgia Tech made a little run there. So I always like the short bench. Most coaches like to play 9. It's hard when you do that, and that's when you get a run coming against you, and that's what happened to Georgia Tech.
Get the sense that you could have played with 4 sometimes. You would have played.
Well,
with
no, I like 6. Come on. See, you're like all the critics. You always exaggerate a little bit.
That's right. But just a little bit.
Just a little, not a lot. No, some are worse.
Well, you got another half left. We'll see how bad it gets. 5-point lead for Duke.
Yeah, Duke's got to get back in control of the game, and they kind of lost it.
That'll help. Knipple for Malawach, a slam to start the second.
Nice pass, really good play.
On Knipple's 3rd assist, he also hit 3 threes in the first half. Nice 20 minutes for him.
Coach Knight always said the first 4 minutes of the second half, that's when you got to be good, and I think he's right. You want to be good.
Skip pass, Tongo across the way, and Terry finishes.
Good answer. That's a big answer right there.
How about Tongo as a distributor? 3 assists to go with his 12 points.
Well, this is the best that I've seen from him this year. I mean, he's been really good.
Proctor has an open look, and Proctor hits it. Long skip pass from Sion James.
I think that both teams are into the game now and a little bit more fluid on offense.
Tyrese Proctor's got 8. Duke shooting 65%. George against Flag. Give it up to Mustaf. Matombo, not a clean catch.
Tough handle.
Dongo into Malawach. Dongo puts his head down and left it short. Knipple.
Big time. That's what they need from him. He's capable of all that, and he hasn't done it yet this year.
11 for Knipple, right around his season average. George couldn't finish off the window, and then James throws it off of the knee of Dongo.
You know, this is off the dribble. He doesn't do as much off the dribble. That's good when you get a shooter to get into the lane and pull up. Everybody says you don't want to take 2s, but those kind of 2s, I think you do want to take. Those are easy 2s when you get in there.
Knipple was a 5-star kid, but with Cooper Flag and Malawach in the hype train, he got a little lost in the shuffle and then broke out in the summer. And I'm curious, your perspective, when you have a kid who's well-known but not a top prospect, and then all of a sudden, a couple of games, people go, oh, he's a lottery pick. What can that do to you?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think he's a lottery pick. I think he's a good player. I think sometimes we get carried away when guys have a good year, good start. It's not easy to be a lottery pick. Another nice pass. 2 good plays and a good pull-up. Really good plays. He's a really good. Sometimes we just can't be happy to say this is a really good college player. Let's not talk about the lottery and the draft yet. I mean, some guys just are really good college players, and maybe they can move on, but let's be a little patient with them.
He's got 4 assists now, Kidipple. 2 to Malawach in this half. Malawach walling up Dongo. George in the corner, no. And kept alive by Ryan Mutombo. He'll get it back. Too hot for Dongo to handle.
You can't score inside when the big guy's in there. He's just too much of a presence.
Duke with 9 points and not yet 3 full minutes. They've scored on every possession in the half. Flag is bumped.
When you have a center, he doesn't have to really score. I mean, it's nice if they do, but when a center can control the inside like he's doing, it just makes it hard for the other team.
Duke, one of the better field goal defenses, second best 2-point defense in the league as Mutombo blocks games.
Just like his father.
I didn't see a finger wag at the end.
No, he's not his father.
That foul will go against. Dongo was going in for the rebound. He's going to get called for it.
This is a good defensive play. He's back and he comes up quick and gets the ball and gets the rebound as well.
First memory you have of Dikembe Mutombo?
They had him and Alonzo Mourning. They just blocked everything. We said for one time, we said, okay, let's shoot some jump shots. Let's not be going in there right away. But I had a couple guys that could go in there. Derek Coleman dunked down a couple times.
Pull up for Flag is good. He's got 11.
Back in that zone, that's the sweet spot. The middle is open, and if they come up, they dump it down. So zone is not a good answer against Duke. They got too many good passers, too many good shooters. You're just not going to be able to play zone against them.
9-0 run and a timeout, Georgia Tech.
That atmosphere is going to be incredible.
The college football playoff first round continues today.
And 2.6 miles from here, Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta will host the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl. New Year's Day, the winner of Clemson, Texas, coming up at 3:30 against Arizona State, and the national championship 19 days after that, January 20th, 7:30 Eastern on ESPN. First year 12-team playoff. I know you're a big football guy. Who you got?
You know, I think it's hard to pick, just like it's in basketball. I mean, Oregon's been good, but they've had some narrow escapes all year. So I think it's hard. I think Syracuse should have gotten in there. They might have won. But no, I mean, that might be a little
They might have given Notre Dame a better game than Indiana did last night.
Yeah.
Flag and Kidipple each with 11. Duke is 5 for 6 in the second half on a 9-0 Blue Devil run.
Well, they're shooting 60% from the field and 50 from the three. I mean, they're hard to beat when they shoot like that. And there's another block from the big guy.
Georgia Tech hasn't scored more than 3 minutes. 0 for its last 5. See the 20 for 30 number for Duke. A lights out offensive performance.
I went to Syracuse. My math isn't that good. So I think that's 66, isn't it?
66.6666 repeating.
Nice defensive play there.
What was your major?
I think it was social science, history.
You know it was a good one when you start with, I think it was.
I think it was.
Yeah, probably.
First of all, that was 60 years ago.
Yeah,
you know.
major in basketball. 13-point lead for Duke on the timeout here at McCamish. When you're a kid at Christmas, you're always worried about getting a lump of coal in your stocking.
Why am I the one, Grim? Why am I the grouch?
Santa Bayheim has the ACC naughty or nice list.
I'm smiling.
I'm shocked by this. I swore you were going to be the nice one in this.
Well, I am, but I think you put my hat on. That's the problem.
That can't be right.
And how much extra did we get for doing this with the hat? Is that extra?
Yeah, $1 million per second. All right, here is the naughty or nice list. Duke and Cooper Flag, they are by far the nice class of the ACC. Clemson's off to a good start. Stanford and SMU, some of the newcomers too.
Yeah.
The naughty list, Tough start for UNC, and then the league as a whole, 4-30 against the SEC.
Well, we're not going to get into great detail, but NIL is important, and I don't think the ACC has quite got it figured out yet, and the SEC has, not surprisingly.
14-2 was the score in the SEC-ACC Challenge. Duke had one of the 2 wins over Auburn, and then Clemson over Kentucky. What do you make of the rest of the league right now under Duke?
It's really, I like Clemson. I think Pitt could be good. Carolina's probably, their history, they'll probably get better. They've lost to really good teams. But the rest is, it's up in the air right now. It's just, every year they've said we're down. And I've felt every year that we would do well in the tournament, and we had 5 or 6 good teams, and we have, every year. This is the first year where that's in question, and the coaches are going to have to get things going, and teams can improve. We have a long way to go, but to me, knowing the game, knowing what's going on, having a feel for other coaches, other conferences, it's about, you have to still recruit, but you have to have NIL. And I think we've fallen behind in the ACC. I think everybody knows that. And I think that that's something that has to be corrected moving forward. When the lawsuit gets settled, I hope this summer, I think it'll bring some clarity to it. But it's about NIL right now.
Flag off the miss, couldn't finish. Malowacz can. An uproarious 3-point possession for Kaman Malowacz. He's got 11.
He's really going to be a good big factor this year as the year goes along. He's quick, long, athletic. He's got good hands, good feel for the game.
Georgia Tech hasn't scored in 4.5 minutes. This is now the largest lead for Duke. Powell 3.
He hit that one in the first half when they needed it. Now they really need it.
Flag driving, and it's going to be a blocking foul. No, it's going to be a charge after a discussion between Lee Cassell and Tony Henderson.
This is one of the hardest calls in the game. He's moving. There's no way. He's moving. He moved in. Never gets his position established. I hate to be a referee, but somebody has to.
We like you to be a referee.
I know. I don't. These guys are good. They're good refs, but they miss calls. Everybody does.
Flag's 3rd. Now 5 minutes without a basket for Tech. Terry not close to ending that. What is it about obviously it's the length for Duke. What else makes them elite defensively?
They're good. They get good position. They get good position ball-wise. They stay in front of people so that they're not putting their backcourt in trouble. But when they do get beat, they have the guys back there. You know, Flag's a big-time shot blocker. You don't expect that from a perimeter guy that can do all the things he does. But the big guy's really good. He's a difference maker. Georgia Tech's going to try to slow him with the zone. I think that'll be hard.
Evans is in the game. Flag for 3.
But
Malowacz just right over the top of Mutombo. And then nobody guards Cooper Flag.
No, offensive rebounding always hurts zones. There's nothing you can do about it. And they get an easy basket. I like Coach Schreier leaves Cooper Flag in the game. With the 2 fouls in the first half, 3 fouls in the second half, he leaves him in the game.
Another ear ball for Terry. And we got a foul here. We'll keep it with Georgia Tech.
Well, we know he can do that. Big guy's just such a difference maker. He just really. Come on.
Should say it was just an out-of-bounds call, 12 to shoot. A 14-0 Duke run. This ball thrown into the backboard. Terry didn't realize Knippel was hot on his tail. Out of bounds is going to go back to Tech with 8 to shoot. Con Knippel nearly stole that one, and then Cooper Flag gets a pat on the back for racing down the court.
Big effort plays from both those guys. Big effort plays. When you're really good and you play that hard, That's the difference.
And it was Proctor who came sliding in. So Tech's got to go the length of the floor with 8 to shoot. J.V. McCollum yet to score today. Throws it up top, and there's the finish. They've been waiting for it. Ibrahima Soare, the redshirt freshman, ends a 6-minute scoring drought in a 14-0 run. And then Knipple answers with 3 more.
He's coming out. He's having his coming out party today on Cooper Flagg's birthday.
Not nice to steal the birthday spotlight.
No. Well, he hasn't stolen that completely.
That's true. Cooper did get the assist there. He's doing all right for himself.
Yeah, he's doing okay.
Five to shoot for Terry.
Oh.
That'll go against Evans, his second. Foster and Gillis will come in. Flagg and Proctor to the bench.
It's a great opportunity to get these guys, try to get these guys going in a conference game. We've got enough margin that you can get guys in there and get them to try to hit a couple, get comfortable. It's a great opportunity in a conference game.
Whether the league was up or down, did you feel like something would shift when conference play started?
You know, it's always different in conference play, and you just have to wait and see how it goes. This year, we're coming in as down as we've ever been. Nice 3 from the corner there. McCollum, they've been waiting for him to get going, so that's a good sign.
Back from a concussion a couple of games ago. J.V. McCollum led Oklahoma in scoring last year.
Yeah, he's a good player, and he hasn't got it going. He's out for a few games, but they need him to play better.
There are a lot of good scorers on this team. They've had so many injuries. It's hurt their rhythm.
And Duke is an exceptional defensive team. They make it hard for you. Nice play.
Knipple with a takeaway, and Knipple will finish.
Oh.
Another timeout taken by Damon Stoudemire. It's a runaway.
Well, Knipple's been really good. This has been his half. The shooting, that's what they've been waiting for. Hustle play. He's got 4 assists and gets the dunk. Not by much.
Well, 4 consecutive Sunday women's basketball quadruple headers begin Sunday after Christmas right here on ACC Network. Ana Hidalgo and 3rd-ranked Notre Dame against Virginia, Louisville, BC, UNC, Miami, Clemson, NC State. Really good start for the ACC women's basketball, including right here. Georgia Tech ranked 17th, 12-0. And the Georgia Tech women's team trying to get to 13-0 in this building later today. They play at 5:30 against a top 25 Nebraska team. That game on ACC Network Extra. A lot of ranked teams, a lot of quality teams. Women's hoops in the ACC. Men's ACC certainly lagging behind in the early going. Duke ranked 5th. Pitt fell out. Clemson ranked for a little while, has lost 2 straight. And Duke has Georgia Tech on the ropes here with under 12 to go.
Georgia Tech's having trouble getting a shot, not just making a shot. They're having trouble getting a shot.
Knipple emerges from the fray here. Gillis back from Foster. Get it out. Maybe a good stretch for John Shire to try and get Gillis and Foster going a little.
Absolutely, absolutely. That's what you're trying to do right now. They're both good players, and you want them to have some success in a game, even if it's a margin like this.
Second half, Duke outscoring Tech 21-8. Flagg has 7.5. Knipple has 7.5. Those two each with 7. Tech with 8 as a team. There's a deflection by Mason Gillis. How deep do you see Duke going, barring injuries, by the end of the year?
Well, these 2 guys can play. Both of them, Evans can play, and Malik Brown. They've got 9 guys. I mean, they've got minimum of 9 guys that can play.
Terry driving in on Evans. The freshman holds up well. And Evans running the break ahead of Knipple. Evans denied. A chase down block by Soiree. Stays with Duke and Foster.
Very strong move. I mean, here's a guy not playing much. He'd start for most teams in the ACC. He's really a good player. Evans is a really good player. Malik Brown would start for most teams in the ACC. So, tremendous depth. Good on offense and good on defense.
Gillis with the foul there. Six freshmen on this Duke team. They had a ton of players transfer out. Jeremy Roach, Mark Mitchell among them, Jared McCain, Kyle Filipowski went to the ACC, lost all that talent, but John Shire thinks this is his best team. I know you share that.
Yeah,
well.
I agree 100%. I think it's his best team.
Foster. Gillis once again will drive it, and he'll finish.
This guy's a really good player, and he's playing what, about 12 minutes a game. So, I mean, that's how good they are. When you got a guy like that coming off the bench. They have to play hard because they know that if they don't, there's somebody on the bench that's going to come in and take their place, and that's a good thing to know.
Another long possession. There have been a lot of deep shot clocks in this game as George finishes.
They've scored 5 or 6 times at the buzzer on the shot clock on tough shots.
Foster, Gillis, Evans, Brown off the bench, along with Knipple facilitating. And tripped up and fouled by George.
That's not what he does best, pick and roll stuff. He's more of a catch and shoot guy.
Knipple and Evans will take a seat. Gillis as well. Flag back on the floor. As you said, you didn't like to go too deep in the bench, but when you had a team that had a key 7th, 8th, 9th, how would you try to keep those guys engaged if they weren't playing as much?
Well, the 8, 7, and 8 you can play. That's a guard, a forward, a center. You can play all night long. And once in a while you can go to the 9th guy. But it's hard to, you need to have a definition of who's playing and who's not.
Proctor. Is it harder to find definition in the game than it used to be? Just because of the portal and the worry that you don't play somebody who's going to leave?
Well, that's always a problem. That's nothing new. If a player didn't play, he was going to leave. But it's the guys that are playing are leaving. That's what the problem is today. Starters are leaving, and that's the problem. But sometimes it's good. Like, I mean, Roach was a good player. Mitchell was a good player, but I think they got better with the people that they brought in. So, and those guys are good. Those guys are good players. But it just looks like a better chemistry. It looks like a better cohesive team overall. And part of that is Cooper Flagg. He kind of pulls everybody. He does a lot of different things, which helps. Malik Brown's an unselfish player. Just wants to set screens and roll. He's not concerned about his points. Sion seems to be that way as well. They just are much more cohesive as a team this year.
Last basket was a Foster 3. Soiree commits a foul, comes out. It's been noted by John Shire and a lot of other folks how mature this team is for its age. In Flagg and Malawat, you have 2 of the 5 youngest players in D1.
Yeah, well, Cooper Flagg's different. You don't even talk about him in comparison to other players. But Malik Brown's a junior, Foster's a junior. Bringing Sion over here, 4 years at Tulane.
Powell trying to clean up his Ole Miss, gets fouled. And it's been a really impressive second ACC game for Duke. And Cooper Flagg delivering 18th birthday joy for the Duke masses. John Shire said, I hope he gets me a gift for the birthday. Got quite a few.
Yeah, he's given a few.
Knockenipple in his second ACC game, 16 points, 4 assists, and a three-point shot finally starting to come.
Yeah, when a guy like him starts making shots, it just changes their whole outlook. They passed, he's got 4 assists, made a couple good defensive plays. He even dunked one, barely, but he got it. He got there. He's going to be a good player for this team. He needed this kind of shooting night, and he got it. No question about it. He's going to be a difference maker.
When you have somebody who is that good of a shooter and they're not hitting shots, do you always tell them to just keep shooting?
Just keep shooting. You shoot. You do some shooting drills with them in practice, and you say, okay, see, it's the same basket we're going to play in. You know, it's the same basket. We'll get you that shot, and you'll make them. And the good shooters do. They'll make them eventually. And it's still worth, what, 10 games in? How many games are in this season? 11 games, so there's 20-some games to go. More.
Freshman with 43 out of 69 for Duke. Knipple gets tripped up by Mustaf. By the way, the last free throws for Powell, those were the first points either Powell or Dongo scored in the second half. They had 23 combined in the first.
Well, they were the difference in the first half, and they just can't get anything going. Dongo is going up against the monster there, so that's not easy. But he did it in the first half. He made a couple shots over him. He made a corner three. But I'm not sure why they're playing Nipple out there at the point. He's really more of a shooter.
Flag and Knipple on the perimeter right now. Roll it into Cooper. Flag. Blocked by Dongo.
Good play. Good defensive play.
Mustaf barreling his way in illegally.
Put your head down and go. You can't do that. He's a freshman too.
Third foul on Mustaf. Is there a right way to coach somebody to drive into a defender?
Well, you have to have an angle, and you can go. But once you're going straight at him, there's no right way. You just can't do it.
3 on Mustaf, 6.5 on Tech. Tough finish by Proctor. He's got 10. 4 out of Duke's 5 starters in double figures.
They just have too many weapons, and I give Georgia Tech a lot of credit the way they fought in the first half and got back in it, but just too many weapons.
Here we go. Travel against George will turn it over. 8th of the game by Georgia Tech.
It's a great game for Duke. You get on the road and you're playing in front of a tough crowd, and you just keep them quiet. You play good, and you get everybody in the game. Everybody gets an opportunity.
Balance has been a staple of John Shire's teams, more so than ever here in his 3rd year. By the way, it's his 400th game on staff today, John Shire. And Duke with him on staff, obviously under Mike Krzyzewski for most of those years. 308 and 91. They're going to be 309, it looks like. And Kaman Malowacz has been a big, big factor.
Well, he's just a good player. He's got good instincts for the game. He's got good hands, and he's got good feet. He moves. And you know what? He's big. Sometimes they list guys at 7'2", and they're 7 foot. He's 7'2", I think. I don't think they're cheating on his size.
He has a standing reach of 9'8", which doesn't sound like it should be physically possible.
Well, I remember playing against Patrick and Matumbo and Mount Morning. They had the same thing. It wasn't fun.
Drive by Proctor, Malowacz, and a foul. May have been before he went up. How many 7'2" guys did you coach? Legit 7'2".
That's probably none. Most guys are 6'11". Even the 7-footers are 6'11". But some guys, they're 6'11", play 7'2".
Yeah.
You know, they're longer and quicker. And, you know, you don't get too many 7'2" guys.
Started playing at age 13, Malawach. Joined the NBA Academy Africa in 2021. Actually played in the Olympics this summer with South Sudan.
Well, the future is coming from Africa. 20 years from now, the majority of big guys in the NBA will probably be from Africa.
Yeah.
They're just scratching the surface over there right now. There's an open shot. They don't get many of those.
Javian McCollum hits it.
He was so surprised he was open that he almost didn't shoot it. Duke just doesn't give you much. They just don't give him many shots.
Georgia Tech, 39% from the field. They actually shot it better than that from 3, 6 for 14. Flag slips. Somehow kept his dribble alive.
Yeah, I'm not sure how he did that. Shoot it.
End of the shot clock. Knipple fighting hard. He'll be called for a foul. That's the 7th on Duke.
Flag has gone down a couple times. He gets a little bit sideways and kind of gets off balance. It's stuff he'll get better at. I mean, sometimes we think that these guys are there. He's a long ways from there. He's really talented. He's really good, but he's going to get a lot better. He works hard. He understands the game, and he's got all the skills, ball handling, passing skills you need, and he's got a good shooting stroke. It's going to be fun to see a guy like him as he develops. Very few guys now in college can go right to the NBA and make a big impact. It's hard to do. Those guys, people don't sometimes realize how good those guys are. Cooper Flagg's a guy that might have a chance to go in there and do something right away. And sometimes people forget, like Kobe Bryant took a year or so. You know, most guys take a year or two to get going. Very few exceptions. LeBron, might be the exception. A couple guys, but this kid he just does so many things. Even if he doesn't shoot well, he can help a team, and he defends.
Chris Carrawell, Duke's associate head coach, said he could score 6 points and be the best player on the floor.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
Nice drive by Knipple, give him 18.
Yeah. Cooper Flagg, scoring is a bonus for him. He does so many things to help your team. Switches on everything. He can help on everything. He can block a shot. Really good passer.
I know comparison can be the thief of joy, but are there players he reminds you of, that versatility?
I mean, he does so many things. Not that he's better than a lot of guys. He just does more things in college. Michael Jordan's a great player. Kevin Durant, they didn't block shots. They didn't do some of the ball handling things. They were primarily scorers in college. This guy is a passer, rebounder, comes across, blocks shots. He just does a lot of stuff that you don't see. You just don't see it.
Evans 3. So what they'll take out of this game, the aggregators will say, Jim Boeheim says Cooper Flagg better than Michael Jordan and Kevin Durant in college.
Not really. He does more things, is what we said.
Oh, don't worry. Somebody will figure
it
out.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%.
Under 4 timeout. It's been a terrific day for Duke. Looking to get to 2-0 in the ACC. In the Christmas spirit here at McCamish Pavilion. 4 days away from Christmas. The snowman has great handle. All kinds of festive hats. Jim Boeheim had the naughty hat on earlier. Would you have ever done what Tom Izzo and Greg Campy did a few nights ago, where they both wore ugly Grinch sweaters during a game?
Yeah, I might wear an ugly sweater. Yeah, I probably have. I used to wear ugly sport coats, so I probably could wear an ugly. So my wife changed my clothing habits, but I wanted to wear the Otto one game with Duke and have Coach K wear the Duke Blue Devil, but I don't think he would. I never really asked him, but I don't think he would.
You wanted to be Otto. Dressed as Otto during the game?
No, before the game.
Before the game, and you wanted Mike to come out as the Blue Devil.
The Blue Devil. I never asked him. I don't think he probably wouldn't. I'm guessing. I'm guessing he would.
Maybe he's sitting at home going, I can't believe I just found out about this now. I totally would have done that.
I'd be very upset if he is, because I really wanted to do that.
You should have pushed it harder.
I know. We're friends for a reason. I don't ask him to do things to me.
Have you worn the Otto costume ever? Not just before.
Yes, I did.
You wore Otto?
I did once. I forgot. It was a while ago, but I did. I am not ashamed of it. I wore it.
And you don't know what the occasion was?
No, I don't remember. It was a picture thing or a surprise thing, something. I love Otto. Nobody can talk bad about Otto. I love Otto.
No.
Yeah, love Otto.
Greatest orange circular mascot
ever.
All the sports.
Ever. And a fruit.
And of course, one of the great fruit mascots. Along with the, banana slug of UC Santa Cruz. Half fruit.
Yeah, that's...
Georgia Tech's going to run out of time here. Shot clock violation.
It's tough.
Hey, I'm curious on, I know you didn't ask John Shire to wear the Blue Devil, but did you see John Shire as a player? Did you try to recruit him to Syracuse?
No, Chicago, we didn't recruit that much. I tried to recruit Mark Aguirre, and after that, I said, we're not getting a guy from out of here. So that was it
for Chicago.
That was it for Chicago. And he made a half-court shot against us, too, and had 30 on us. So, yeah, John was a really good player, good shooter, smart player.
Malik Brown for three.
Come on, hit it. It's not his strength, but he can make that shot.
He's now 1 for 6 on the year. He hit the one against Kansas. Duke has emptied the bench a little bit here. Patrick Gungba's on the floor. Darren Harris, who, by the way, are both five-star freshmen who are basically relegated to garbage time as deep as this team is.
Yeah, Georgia Tech's not going to even get an easy shot now. That's the problem.
Yeah. Georgia Tech shooting at 37.7%. Number 1 field goal defense in the ACC, number 3 in the country, Duke. David Stoudemire, better days ahead for Georgia Tech. But his team is still not whole. They're without Luke O'Brien. They're without Koasi Reeves today. Dorian Anucheku, freshman, is out for personal reasons.
Yeah, he's got to get everybody back. And you can't go by these games when you play a team like Duke. You just can't. You have to just forget this game. Get ready for the next game. It's not going to be like this.
David Stoudemire, who was obviously a phenomenal college player at Arizona, long NBA career, and is in his second year as a Georgia Tech head coach. Did you ever coach against David Stoudemire?
Yeah, we played Arizona. Yeah, I think we did. I think I did coach against him. I think we beat him. I don't know how, but I think we did.
Not many did during his time there. Mustaf feeds Dongo. Second half, his first basket by Dongo.
We beat Arizona home, and then the next year we beat him in Arizona. I think he was there for one of those years, but they were good. It was one of our better ever road victories.
He ended his career second all-time leading scorer at Arizona by the time he left school. Brown, thinking about another one.
He was a really good player. I think he's a very good coach too. I mean, he gets his players to play hard. He understands what they're doing. I've watched him coach in practice. He's going to be a very good basketball coach. And as is John Shire. When you get to this level of coaching, you've probably got a good idea of what you're doing. It's not like there's a lot of bad coaches out there. There's a lot of good coaches out there.
Free throw good for Evans. Cameron Sheffield has come in for Duke. Stoudemire was at Pacific for 5 years, which is not a job where you typically win a lot. In his last full year there, went 23 and 10.
Yeah, he did a good job there.
Went to the Celtics as an assistant for a couple of years after that. Year 2 at Georgia Tech. They have another great freshman class coming in. They have some really high-level recruits the next couple of years, hoping they can build something. Been a good little run for Georgia Tech athletics. The football team had a nice year, beat Miami. Going to the Birmingham Bowl. Women's team is 12-0. They play at 5:30 today against Nebraska. Hoping the men's team can move up after ACC game number 2, but this one's going to belong to Duke, as most of them will in the conference for them.
It's going to be very hard to beat this Duke team. I mean, the league is down, as we've talked about, but
A three for Isaiah Evans. Duke's 10th.
Most programs in the country would give anything to have a guy like that. He might not play much, if at all, here. That's the challenge when you go to Duke. If you're not one of the, you can be really good and not play a lot. It's just the way it works.
Still active defensively. Evans getting the tip. Inside, Gungba messes with that shot. Duke can dribble it out. A 56% shooting number for Duke today. Their second ACC game, a blowout. A building where they lost last year and they were never close to it today.
Most of the people standing are Duke people, by the way.
It was a very blue crowd, and Todd Knipple really steals the show as Duke wins 82-56. 18 for Knipple, Cooper Flagg hit 13 for, and a couple of assists on his 18th birthday. I know your first time seeing Duke in person. Very impressive.
Very impressive. Much more impressed than I was with last year's team, and they're just way better. Cooper Flagg is a whole different guy, and the big guy, who I keep calling the big guy because I can't pronounce his name, is really.
You're going to get Kaman
really
Malawach by the end of the year.
I can get Kaman. I don't know about the Malawach.
Come on.
But yeah, but they got experience. They've just got a lot of good players.
He had 15 on 5 for 5 shooting and 5 for 6 free throw shooting today, Malawach. Duke now has 9 days off. They get a very Merry Christmas. They've had such a gauntlet at the start of the year with Kansas, Kentucky, Arizona, and Auburn, and so 9 days off, and then they'll host Virginia Tech on the 31st to be their ACC home opener.
Well, they don't need any time off right now. They're pretty good. Somebody sitting here.
Knipple's going to join us in a moment here. Malawach hobnobbing with the fans.
Congratulations.
82-56, Con Knipple with 18. And he already told you congratulations. We'll say it as well. You've had quite the second ACC ever game for you. What was going well with your shot today?
Well, I just try to play with no conscience. I felt myself thinking about it a little too much the last couple games. So just try to not really care what the result was and keep going with it.
Well, the one thing I can tell you as an old coach, for you, don't ever think about it again. If you get a shot, shoot it.
Yeah.
Don't think about it, because you're going to make them. And talking to Coach Schreier before the game, he said, I think today is the day. He did say that in the locker room. And what I was impressed with, though, is you made really good reads, good passes, the 2 lobs. You know, you're known as a shooter, but you can do those things too, and your defense was really good. Your team defense was really good. But as a shooter, you should always just go out there and do what you did today. Let the ball go. You'll make them.
Yep, for sure.
Christmas plans for you? I know you got a lot of time coming off.
Yeah, we got about 5 days here, so I'm going to go home to Milwaukee and hang with my brothers, have some fun.
You got any plans for your teammate's 18th birthday today, for Mr. Flagg?
We didn't talk about it too much, but we're definitely going to get him pretty good in the locker room here.
He's pretty fun to play with, isn't he?
Oh, yeah.
I've seen
I
a
think
lot
he's the
of
most
players.
fun to play with.
Yeah, I haven't seen many guys that. I only coached for 50 years, but I haven't seen many guys like him.
He's
fortunate.
staring you down right now, by the way.
Oh, there he is.
Yeah, maybe you heard you were going to get him good in the locker room.
Cooper, he's the most valuable player today. He's the most valuable player today on your birthday. He stole your thunder on your birthday.
Jim, whose mic is down, is telling Cooper Flagg that you were the most valuable player on the birthday today. When's your birthday?
August 3rd.
All right, well.
Yeah, not quite a ways away.
No, happy birthday early. Merry Christmas, happy holidays, and thanks for spending some time with us.
Yeah, Merry Christmas. Appreciate it. Thank you, guys.
Con
Good
Knipple,
luck.
18 points, ACC second game, 4 shy of a season high. He and Cooper Flagg and Duke looked awesome.
Is he coming
today.
in or no?
He's out.
Oh, he's not talking.
We got one and done. He can get out of here and go get a cupcake or something. 82-56 for Jim Boeheim, our ACC crew. Kevin Brown, let's send you to Justin in the studio.